Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Free For All Friday, and what I am now referring to as a Markin Out, bro. Basically, the top 5 Markout moments in my and my co-host,
Preston, BeerMoney2K.
our top 5 Markout moments of all time. Preston, I'm going to go ahead and let you start with your 5th Markout moment of all time.
Okay, my number 5 markout moment of all time is Punk winning the WWE title at Money in the Bank. The reason this is such a markout moment is because, for anybody who has followed me and John, by the way, if you don't know who John is, the other person, BeerMoney2K, subscribe to BeerMoney2K, the whole nine. Me and him watched this pay-per-view live, and we did live reactions for it. And when, Punk and Cena were, going for it, we were just, we were ready for Punk to win because we were tired of Cena and we were hating Cena and all this. And when he won, it was so just insane because of, Chicago and all this. And sparked like a little girl. And it was, I love Punk winning the title. Amazing.
Yeah, I got to say, I was right there with you. I marked pretty hard for that. My number 5 markout moment of all time was when Shane McMahon dove off of the Titantron onto the Big Show from Backlash 2001.
Shane jumping off the Titantron is something that, Shane's done. He's done it 3 times. Well, once he fell off of it because of Steve Blackman.
Right.
And then, he jumped off and missed, hit Kane. The first time he did it on Big Show was fucking, that's crazy. When you can top Foley, Hell in the Cell, you're pretty crazy.
Yeah, and at the same time, the big deal with this was that it's Shane freaking McMahon. It's the Golden Boy. It's the back then who we thought would eventually be the heir to the company, and here he is putting his life on the line. And not only did it give me an immense amount of respect for the kid because it's like, okay, I can see he really means business here, but then on that same note, it was just an amazing feat. And this was before Jeff Hardy did anything like that. I mean, he was jumping off ladders and stuff, but he never had that huge, holy crap, he's diving from 30 feet up in the air kind of jump before.
We didn't have that till 07.
Yeah, and we're talking about Shane McMahon doing it, so that was pretty big. What's your number 4, Preston?
Number 4 is Shawn Michaels kicking out of the Tombstone at WrestleMania 25. Now, the reason this one's so big, well, first of all, kicking out of a Tombstone, that's a pretty big feat.
Yeah, really.
And, second of all, how, the match was, flowed with, Shawn Taker from 25. And just the way Shawn kicked out and then, JR's commentary and Taker's face, the entire, moment and feeling was just incredible. So.
Yeah, that was crazy. And honestly, I will say that is definitely one of 2 or 3 of Shawn's best matches of all time.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Right up there with his match with Taker at 26 and his match with Jericho at 19.
Exactly.
My number 4 is actually the first time they did this, the Brock Lesnar Big Show ring collapse, when Lesnar tried to superplex Big Show off the top rope, and when they landed, the ring collapsed. Obviously, the first time something happens, it's always better than any kind of duplicates. And this was the first time I've ever seen anything like this, so I freaked out. I was losing my mind. I was like, are they going to be able to finish the match? Is this happening still? I was losing it. It was crazy.
I think it's funny because I remember seeing that moment, and here's a funny story for you. I saw that moment somewhere on, a WWE highlight video or something, and when I first saw it, I thought it was Rikishi. Don't ask me why, but to me, it looked like Rikishi was getting suplexed off of the turnbuckle. I don't know if it was the angle that he chose or whatever, but then I eventually found out what it was. And it's just that moment is just Big Show and Mark Henry. Yeah, they can try and recreate it, but to me, Lesnar's Big Show. I loved Taz. Holy, bleep.
Yeah.
What the hell? The commentary on that was awesome, and the crowd went nuts. Great moment.
Yeah, and when Mark Henry and Big Show did it, for me, it was more like, ha.
Yeah, it was kind of oh yeah, it was funny because I remember when we did live. Did we do live? No, we didn't do live reactions for Vengeance.
No, it was me, you, and Alex in a Skype call together.
Yeah, it was us 3 in the Skype call.
Yeah.
And we were laughing. Oh, we were dying because the Big Show bouncing off the mat. Oh my god, it was so fucking funny.
Well, between Big Show bouncing off the mat and the ref selling the ring collapse like death.
That was hilarious. That really wasn't, oh my god, that was just funny.
Right.
The Big Show and Brock Lesnar is incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
My number 3 is Eddie winning the WWE title.
Yeah.
think the moment speaks for itself.
Yeah, really.
But regardless, Eddie's my second favorite wrestler of all time, and I just remember, watching that on VHS. Which, ironically, before I started collecting DVDs, I collected wrestling VHS tapes, and I have the VHS copy of No Way Out 2004. And I remember just watching that, and it gives me goosebumps. And just, Eddie wins the title, the crowd, the whole celebration, just incredible. And to me, Eddie only won the title one time, but to me, it was just that awesome.
Yeah, and there are only so many moments in wrestling history that can give you goosebumps every single time you watch it, and that's one of them. And for me, another one like that is when Taz made his debut against Kurt Angle. And for me, the reason this was so big was because my first ever wrestling show that I saw live, I was 6 years old, 1996. My dad took me to see an ECW show. And Taz was there, and he had, I don't remember if it was the exact same, but it was really close to the same, if not the exact same music that he came out to. So when I saw that 13 in the tattoo up on the Titantron, and that heartbeat started, I was losing my mind because I instantly knew it was Taz. And then he came out with the towel over his head, and I recognized him. And then of course he actually beat Kurt Angle for the first time. Kurt Angle was on an undefeated streak at that point, and then Taz beat him. So I was thinking they were going to do huge things with Taz. I was wrong on that account, but it was still a huge moment for me.
Taz is cool. My number 2 is Foley Edge Fire Spear. I don't know what else you have to say about it other than Mick Foley gets speared through a goddamn flaming table. That's all. That's it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I love how you call it fire spear. Like
that's what it is. It's a fire. I think it's fire spear. It is. I love that. And WrestleMania 22 was the first WrestleMania that I saw semi-live, and we'll get to the next moment in a minute. But when I saw that, in the highlight packages, I'm just like, holy shit. Flames and Foley and Edge, just awesome moment. One of my favorite matches of all time, actually, is that Edge and Foley, hardcore match from 22. And love the spear and love the ending. Just awesome.
Yeah, and if nobody else, Mick Foley in that match was Edge's legitimizer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. My number 2 is Mankind's WWF title win when Stone Cold Steve Austin showed up and basically helped him to win the title. I absolutely freaked out. And I actually had stopped watching WCW at this point, so I didn't see the spoiler. I didn't see WWE or WCW say that he was going to win the title. So I hadn't been spoiled. So I got to watch it for the first time, and I didn't know what was going to happen, and I was losing my mind.
I love that match. That's on Foley's first DVD set, Hits and Misses. And that match is awesome because the thing I love about it is the whole, DX versus Corporation brawl, and then, I don't remember, actually, I think Rock just rock bottom Foley or something, I don't remember exactly what happened, but Austin's music hits, and,
right.
Place goes, it's Austin, and, Stone Cold is here, and then, hits, Rock with the chair, and then Foley covers it, 1, 2, and the place just goes absolute ape shit.
Well, and so did I. I was doing the same thing.
I don't blame you, dude.
Yeah.
I love Foley's celebration. That was awesome.
Yeah. Mankind, he was one of those guys who you always saw as just like that, kind of like that circus freak, that guy that would put on a great show for the fans but would never really get any kind of prestigious titles. And him winning that championship, it's like, okay, maybe the WWE, or WWF really does see something in this guy.
Awesome. And my number 1 is not going to be a shocker to, I think, anybody, if you know me pretty well. It's actually a tie. I cannot pick between the two because they're both so awesome. It's Ray winning the Rumble from 06 and the world title from 22.
Okay.
The Rumble is something that I was freaking out as a kid because I was not able to access WWE on television, and I'm not going to go into the explanation why, but that's all you have to know. And I would tape it at my dad's, so I would be on like a 2-week delay sometimes for watching Raw or SmackDown. Actually, I didn't even watch SmackDown, actually. I just watched Raw and just, caught SmackDown periodically, that was, whatever. But anyways, my dad, I saw that, and then, my dad's like, did you see Ray with the Rumble? I'm like, yeah, and, I was freaking out. And then, when I finally saw it, and, when he eliminates Randy Orton, I'm sorry, but that is the biggest goddamn pop I've ever seen in my life. When he hits that and goes back in the ring, there's no roof. Roof's gone. I don't know what arena that is, but it needed some construction after that elimination. Because I still cry. I can watch it over and over, but still tear up. And it's one of my favorite moments ever. It is my favorite moment ever besides the next one. And the pop gets me every time. Because when that hits, it gives me goosebumps down my spine. And it's just that awesome. And then WrestleMania 22, I think it speaks for itself. Ray loses his chance, Randy Orton, and then, I love, when Teddy Long comes out and he gets put back in the match. Freaked out for that as a kid, too. And then at 22, the impossible dream, the impossible win. 619, West Coast Pop, which I think was one of the last times Ray actually used West Coast Pop.
Yeah, I think it was.
To Randy Orton, 1, 2, 3, Detroit goes nuts, and I go absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And those two.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can blame you. Everyone knows how much of a huge Rey Mysterio mark you are, and that's his biggest moment. No one will deny that. That was huge. For me, my number one mark-out moment of all time, and I think a lot of people who have been around to have seen this kind of relate to me on this, Chris Jericho's initial debut in the WWF in 1999. It was actually just a few days after my 9th birthday. And I had been following Jericho because I really, really started getting into the wrestling product in early 1998. And one of the first major storylines that I really found myself investing into was Chris Jericho versus Goldberg, when Jericho would keep on having Goldberg
That's a cool storyline.
Yeah, he kept calling Goldberg out, and Goldberg kept on not showing up, and so Jericho was 1-0, 2-0, 3-0.
Did he face Gilbert at Fall Brawl of that year?
I don't remember. I don't think he did.
I don't think it was Gilbert. It was somebody like Gilbert, though. It was kind of cool.
I think he brought out a Goldberg midget.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he got up to 4-0, 5-0, and people were really starting to get to the point they wanted to see him get killed. And no more than 9 or 10 months later, he was signed with the WWF. I didn't know about it because all 5 of my moments obviously are before I discovered the internet, but this is another great example of that. And then that countdown clock started, and I'm thinking, oh God, who is it? Who is it? And then when that clock hit 0, while The Rock was on the mic, and I saw that silhouette of Jericho's pose with his arms out, and then he showed up and he had that goofy top of the head ponytail thing, I lost my mind. I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, Chris Jericho! Because I remembered him from WCW and I knew how hilarious he was. And I lost my mind. I don't know if you can speak on that one because you probably weren't there to...
I wasn't, again, I wasn't really watching WWF at the time. I was, watching WCW. So I can't really speak on that one at all. But again, that is a really cool moment. I don't disagree. When Jericho showed up and Raw is Jericho. I love that. That moment's awesome. I love it.
And I said that with him. When he said Raw is Jericho, he had never said it before, but I said it with him because I knew who he was and how he was.
The WCW, was it Nitro is Jericho on at WCW?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
That was just crazy. So. There you go. We have our top 5 mark-out moments of all time. Preston, I think we have a few honorable mentions that we'd like to get in here before we close out.
One that I'm going to throw out that I think everybody would agree with me on is Foley getting thrown off the cell.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely.
Another one for me would be this is a funny one. When Santino was the last one in the Rumble last year. I think every wrestling fan was in the hospital after that one because he went out to cardiac arrest.
Yeah, it's mark-out moments don't always need to be positive. The definition of a mark-out moment is when you literally just suspend your disbelief to a point that you're freaking out because you think it's real.
Yeah.
And that's kind of with Santino.
I thought Santino was going to win. I was just beside myself.
Yeah, we were both freaking out. Yeah, that was horrible. I'm just glad he didn't win. And then when he hit the Cobra, oh my God!
I'm trying to think of it. Of course, we said before
Yeah.
we did this, Triple H, Tombstone Taker.
Yeah, oh my god, dude. I was freaking out. I legitimately thought that it was over. I thought Triple H was going to end the freaking streak, and we were going to get to see all kinds of repercussions on the YWC and people talking about how either it was a great decision and Triple H deserved it, or the majority would have been, oh my god, Triple H is such an egotist. I can't believe he beat The Undertaker.
And I love that moment because when he hit the tombstone, I think I was like everybody else, like, he's not beating Taker, is he?
Yeah.
And then, 1, 2, I'm like, holy shit! And then the rest, oh, everybody, sigh of relief, he kicked out. But that's a great moment too.
That was like the ultimate.
Too many great moments. I could sit here for days.
Yeah, that was like the ultimate suspension of disbelief. That was like the Markout moment heard around the world because everybody who follows wrestling was freaking out about that because of the streak.
Shawn winning the title at Survivor Series 2002.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yep.
Austin coming back in 2003 as the GM. There's one for me. I remember that. Because that's when I was starting to get into WWE. And I just, started to find out about Austin, ironically. And then when, they announced him as the GM of Raw, that was so fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
Kicked the shit out of Bischoff, which he did on a,
regular basis. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, you mentioned Eddie Guerrero's title win. I'm going to go ahead and throw another one in the ring here. Chris Benoit's title reign.
Yes.
That was huge. When he was freaking out, oh my gosh. And then, wasn't that Eddie came out to celebrate with him?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I agree with that. We saw the good mic work commentary today where he talked about that moment. And the fact that, if Benoit didn't do what he did, that moment would probably be, one of the biggest moments in history, but it's got Benoit in it, so
right.
You really can't do that, unfortunately. Yeah. But that's a great one. Love that one.
All right, with that, we're gonna go ahead and close this out. This has been a solid 14-15 minute video. I really enjoyed making this with you, Preston. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to address something really quick here. My third brand booking. I was planning on making a new video for this past Tuesday, and then we ended up doing live reactions. I was planning on making a video for Thursday, and then I ended up shooting WWE Is Not Fake with Preston and Alex. And then I was going to do it for this Sunday, which would be when this video is coming out, and this video is why I'm not. So, expect my next third brand video on Tuesday. I'm going to try and get that shot. I have off for the next couple days, so that shouldn't be a problem. Until then, this is Ian Izzle signing out.